What's going on, everyone? Shiraz Ahmed here, and today's topic is a little bit more of a glamorous one that I've been doing lately, but it happens to be often shrouded in a myth of mystery and misconceptions. So you may have guessed it, we're going to be talking about private jets and private aviation. Now today I'm going to dive into this elusive world and explain in plain English at what point does it make sense for somebody to even consider flying private, and how much does your net worth and your income need to be before you even consider it. So stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. So a lot of our social media feeds are inundated with influencers and celebrities flaunting their absolutely luxurious lifestyles. So it's easy to assume that private jet ownership or leasing is within reach for many of us. Now, I'm not going to be Debbie Downer here, but it's important for us to not get caught up in this whirl of opulence. It's essential to stay grounded within the financial realities of life. So I'm actually going to be basing this on a recent New York Times article where it showed that the median net worth in the United States for a full and fractional private jet owner to be approximately $190 million and $140 million US respectively. Now, I'm going to try to translate these figures into like an annual income figure to give you a little bit of a perspective, and we're going to do a little bit of some basic back of the napkin math. Now, this is going to be my little disclaimer. The information in the article really indicated only their net worths for fractional and private and full private jet owners, not their annual incomes. So the net worth of these individuals is like a snapshot of their current financial situation, taking into account all their assets like properties, investments, cash on hand, minus liabilities and debts. So that being said, this is going to be a super rough guideline. And some experts suggest that people should consider purchasing a private jet only if the cost of the jet is less than 10% of their net worth. Now, using this guideline, you might extrapolate that the annual income would likely need to be significant enough to maintain such a high net worth, perhaps a few percent of that net worth each year. Now, that being said, the exact figure can depend on a ton of factors, including one's overall wealth management strategy, cost of living, and of course, let's not forget personal spending habits. But for example, we're going to use the median net worth figure of $190 million for full ownership and $140 million for fractional ownership. So number one, for full ownership, the cost of private jet is probably about 10% of $190 million. The jet would probably cost somewhere to the tune of $19 million. So to maintain a net worth of $190 million, given typical investment returns and assuming a relatively conservative lifestyle, one might guess an annual income in the range of kind of $9.5 million to maybe $19 million might be required. Now, for fractional ownership, the cost of a private jet is about 10% of $140 million, so the jet would cost about $14 million in this case. And to maintain a net worth of about $140 million, an annual income in the range of about $7 to maybe $14 million might be required. Now, please note that these figures are very rough estimates, and actual requirements can vary greatly based on a number of individual circumstances, like their lifestyle, the specifics of the type of jet ownership arrangement, and even the plane itself. And also, the high net worth individuals often have income from really diverse sources, not just like a T4 or W2 type salary. A lot of their income comes from investment returns, dividends, royalties, and other passive income streams. So it would be wise to consult with a proper financial professional or wealth management expert before making any decisions about substantial financial purchases like these. Okay, anyways, with that out of the way, bottom line, it's super clear that these figures, the financial bar to enter the realm of private aviation is exceptionally high. Now, I want to pivot a little bit here to the Canadian perspective. So in recent years, Canada has seen marked with an increase in private aviation. Now, James Elian, CEO of Calgary-based private aviation company Air Sprint, shared that their fleet size has actually grown by 50% since the pandemic began in 2020. Now, despite considerable financial implications, why are more Canadians opting for private aviation? Now, one answer might lie in the rise of fractional ownership. Now, this is a really innovative model that allows for customers to buy a piece of a plane, effectively paying for their share of usage. Now, this scheme is particularly appealing to those who may require regular access to private aircraft, but do not fly enough to warrant full ownership. Now, Air Sprint suggests that the typical sweet spot for fractional ownership lies between 25 to 250 hours of annual flight time. Now, it seems like a feasible solution, right? However, it is crucial to understand that fractional ownership is not without its commitment issues. So upfront costs, long-term contracts, potential scheduling challenges are just a few considerations that anybody considering this might want to think about before signing on the dotted line. Now, you might be asking yourself, who are the primary users users of these private aviation services. Now, contrary to popular belief that it's only celebrities or influencers that are the primary clientele, however, it actually compromises and makes up of more high net worth individuals, families, and businesses. Now, the key selling points here: time, efficiency, flexibility, and of course, privacy. Now, according to Alien, the significant portion of their customers are using private flights for non-business travel or even for family office meetings. Now, despite the increased accessibility to private aviation through fractional ownership, it really does remain a super luxury, and that is beyond the reach for majority of us out there. Remember that the true cost of ownership of leasing of a private aircraft extends way beyond the price tag of actually buying the thing. There are operating costs like fuel, maintenance, crew salaries, unless you know how to fly a plane, because I totally don't. Salaries, insurance, hangar fees, to name a few. So these can actually add up to millions of dollars potentially annually, not to mention the potential depreciation of the aircraft over time as well. So next time you see an influencer on a private jet on your social media feed, remember that the road to private jet ownership or leasing is not as straightforward as you might think. Now, unless you have substantial net worth or an extremely high annual income, sticking to commercial flights or investing in first class tickets might be the more financially savvy move. Now, for those concerned about environmental impact of private flights, companies like Air Sprint are gradually transitioning towards becoming carbon neutral. Now, this move includes strategies such as using sustainable aviation fuels made from agricultural waste and buying verifiable carbon offsets. So there you have it, private plane ownership demystified. Now, jokes aside, it's important to understand that the cost behind luxury decisions like private jets, high-end cars, or other things generally considered to be part of this luxury lifestyle. After all, the old saying goes, just because you can, that really doesn't necessarily mean you should. You know, I have a front row seat given the nature of my job to see the behaviors of some of the richest families across North America, and I can tell you right now that most of them aren't flying private. So I want to thank you again for sticking into the end of this video. If you appreciate the content, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button, as it really does help out the channel. And if you hit the bell icon, you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. Now, I'm going to put my contact information at the end of this video. Please drop me a line if you have any content requests or any questions about your own individual circumstances. Until next time, please stay safe out there, you all. Bye for now.